What's up? My name is Michael Antonio, and today we're talking about Eva Marcille. Before the magazine features, before any press lines, before anyone was calling me a celebrity photographer, I had this one shoot. A quiet, powerful moment that changed everything for me, really. And the person in front of my lens, Eva Marcille. I first connected with Eva because I was doing a website for her called EvaTheDiva.com. And I wasn't hired. Okay, I was just a fan. Okay, I was just a fan. I wasn't hired at all. And I just loved her. I was a fan of America's Next Top Model, obviously. Who wasn't? I just thought she was the bee's knees. So I funded everything myself. I made the website and built the website. And, it was a whole full professional website. I had everything on there about her short of how to book her for anything. She didn't even know I was doing it, actually. But I believed in her, and I believed in her story. Around that time, a fashion designer named Malcolm Harris was working with Eva. He was getting her in custom gowns and dresses made by him for red carpets and many events. And in his tenure working with Eva, I think he came across the website and he reached out to me and actually commissioned me to work on his website. So that was my first official work, working for someone in the entertainment or fashion realm. So I was working with him, and of course he had a great relationship with Eva. And one day he invited me to a dinner. I believe it was somebody's birthday. I'm not sure whose birthday it was, because it was a few people there. But it was someone's birthday, and we went out to dinner at Chez Josephine in New York. It was a restaurant based around Josephine Baker. And a lot of people were at the dinner. Terrell Mullins was there, her cousin, who was an Emmy Award-winning makeup artist who I worked with on this photo shoot. And there was a few people there. Naima Mora was there, who was the current winner of Top Model, and also a cover girl. And I met her that night, and it was a really fun night. We went out, and I was underage. I was not supposed to be in that club, okay? Eva walked the red carpet. I had never seen anyone do that before, so this was still very fresh to me. That entire night and meeting her was the kind of first connection. That was the first time we ever established anything. Eventually, through our connection and me still working on her website, she knew that I was, again, working on the photography, and I don't even know how we got around to me, working with her or, talking about doing a photo shoot together. It just kind of happened. And I remember we were in Washington, D.C., and it was in a hotel room, I believe, or it was in a room, a conference room or the hotel room itself. And I bought just a black tarp, and it was just me, Eva, and her cousin, Terrell Mullins, who was her makeup artist and hairstylist at the time. He's Emmy nominated now. I don't think he was Emmy nominated at the time that we did the shoot, but we were all still very, very young and very, very new and working with each other. So that was really, really cool. I just remember it being very, very raw. There was no production team. It was just beauty, trust, and light. It was a beauty shoot through and through. There was no fashion, there was no wardrobe changes. It was just Eva's face and presence. Terrell did both the hair and the makeup. Her makeup process, I remember Eva was, sipping champagne and, sidekick in one hand. It was very much that era. I loved it. And I just remember this story. It's such a funny story. She had this Versace lighter that was given to her by Donatella, which I loved. I loved that story. And I just thought it was such a cool thing. And I was like, oh, you are really living in your America's Next Top Model fantasy, and I'm here for it. But the thing that I loved about working with Eva is that when that camera came up, though, everything locked in. She gave presence, expression, ownership. In the final portraits, they spoke for themselves. I didn't even really realize when we were creating the photo shoot and doing the photo shoot that it would be something that was so significant. Even at the time, there were a lot of models that were recreating the photo shoot. It was so many people that were doing this picture with the head and the black background, copying the lip color, the makeup, the whole nine. And I was I almost felt some kind of way about it. I was like, all right now, I got to keep copying. But in hindsight, it was such a great honor. And even then I appreciated it. I knew it was significant and that, we're inspiring people. So this is exactly what it's all about. That shoot became the very first piece of my portfolio. Years later, I kind of lost everything from that photo shoot. So it's bittersweet when I think about it, because there was a fire in the home that I lived in at the time, and my equipment got smoke damaged and the hard drives were damaged and I couldn't recover the files. So the original files from this photo shoot are gone to history. And the only things I have are the pictures that I have released from this photo shoot. And though I've lost everything, it's this moment is still something that echoes through all of my work, because it was really the start. What strikes me most also when I'm looking at these pictures and thinking about this shoot is that I didn't even know I was documenting my legacy. I was just a young artist trying to make it. I was hungry. I was trying to hold on to a moment. But now I realize this is the power of photography. I was there. This is the proof. I captured it, while the world was still catching up. That's really what this is. It's not just nostalgia, but this is proof, okay? And it's crazy to think about, because I think we did that shoot back in 2007. So that's almost 20 years ago, which is kind of crazy to think about and saying out loud. I'm I can't believe I've been doing this for almost 20 years. That's crazy. And, now, what I do different, and shooting it now, it would probably be a completely different experience. Before it was just very intimate. It was just me and Eva and Sorrel. Now it'll probably be a few people on set with us, and it'll be a lot more lights and a lot pricier as far as the production is concerned. I'd have a much better lens, a better camera. I couldn't really afford much at the time. I was always doing a lot with very little. So yeah, now it would be an entirely different experience. I would love to photograph Eva again. That would be fun. I think we would really do something really cool, and obviously something striking and gorgeous. It'd be very on brand. And since shooting this, I've learned now to shoot and experiment more, to push past the frame, push past the need. Once we land the shot, I used to stop, but sometimes now I just keep going a little bit. You kind of see what you can create. And so many shoots I've done with people, even working with Little Kim, a lot of the shots that actually got released are things that were by accident a little bit. We go in with the plan, we go in with an idea, and sometimes, it gets a little altered on set, and that organic moment, that energy, that magic just makes it happen. So that's something that I've learned, and those are the things that I look back on this shoot now and I'm yeah, we probably could have also got even stronger shots, because I experiment more now. So definitely shooting this now would be a completely different experience. But what this shoot did teach me was the power of being prepared, and not just with gear and anything, but your energy. It also taught me that creativity doesn't need permission. I didn't have a big setup, I didn't have a big budget, I didn't have no money, but I had the eye. I did have the eye. And sometimes that's enough. So this is what the studio retrospect is all about. The stories behind the images, the moments that built my career. So subscribe for more episodes, because the next story is going to be just as real as this one. I'll see you then.